Welcome to Knickknack's Corner. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 1922 by Stephen King. Another short and sweet book by him. If you're looking for a palate cleanser to sort of just read something in between, I can't recommend this book enough. There's also a Netflix series out that is pretty well, almost dead on for the book, so highly recommend reading it and checking out the movie after. Or if you don't like reading, which I don't know why you're on my channel if you don't like reading, but if you don't like reading, go watch the movie, because it's still very good. However, King uses one of his wonderful scare tactics in this book for me. He used it in Misery. He used it in a couple other things, as well as If It Bleeds, and that's rats. Rats just bug me. I worked on a farm growing up, and there was all kinds of rats. And they're just everywhere. They get like huge, they're ugly, and they're smart, and I don't like them. I don't like them. And they carry a lot of disease, and they eat a whole bunch of stuff laying around. I just don't like rodents, not a fan of them. Like, bunnies are cool, they're cute, but like, no, rats, mice, not a fan. Anyway, he uses it to great extent inside this book. Essentially, it's hard times in 1922 with the farmer and his son and his wife. It's a friend of mine likes to call it it's Telltale Heart, but 3 times longer. And it is longer, but it has more substance, and Stephen King captures country like no one else. And I feel like living in the country, giving me the experience of being on farms and all that sort of stuff, even the type of well that they have there, it all reminds me of like the farm I grew up on when I was a kid. And he just captures it all so well, and I'm just a huge fan of him. This was a 4-star book for me. I really enjoyed what he did, and I really felt like he brought out a lot of things about the country that you don't really get to see unless if you live it and experience it. I heard tales growing up of people, you know, when they were kids just getting outhouses or getting indoor plumbing for the first time out of outhouses. And, you know, I had a grandmother who was born in the late 1800s who remembered the 20s. And, you know, there was things like that that just, it was interesting to be in that weird generation where you get to have the experience of learning from people who got to live through this stuff. And now there's a whole group of people who are living now who would have never even been alive to experience it. Think about it, 1922 was 100 years ago. So that's something to keep in mind when you're reading this, like 100 years. That's very interesting, and Stephen King makes it seem like it's just yesterday. He does a good job at making you feel you're there and bringing the location alive. And I feel like that's one of the things he does super well. Look at The Shining. Look at, for instance, with Derry, Maine, or The Shawshank Redemption. Like, he brings those places to life. He brings locations to life. They're a character on their own. And I feel he executed that very well in 1922 once again. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there because I don't want to spoil anything for you. I've already probably said a little much, but not too much. If you don't know what's going on inside this book, you're not spoiled. Don't worry about it. But I don't want to give away anything to you that you might decide, oh, I already heard everything. So that's gonna be everything today for 1922. I hope you go pick it up and read it. It was very enjoyable, quick read. You want to shove that in between thicker books, even big fantasy books and series. So yeah, I hope that you're all doing well. Thank you so much for coming